Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to another very special and weird video. Because in today's one, we're going to be talking about a little comic run about the 2017 TmNT movie. There was a few comics that came before the movie. There was one about the movie itself, and then there was one that's not really too known, but it's interesting. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's one. Let's go. And before we do get started, if you do like this content and want to see more from this channel, please do make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications. Now let's go on with the video. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is the prequel comics. Now these ones take place before the actual movie itself, with some exceptions here and there with certain characters. These stories were taking place, or not taking place, these ideas were taken from the original story notes from Kevin Monroe. If you don't know who he is, he's the director for the movie and stuff like that. He was the one who came up with the idea for this whole movie and gave up the backstory for these characters. And the artists and story writers came up with, expanded on these notes and really delve into them to give us some unique stories. So I have them here. I've been collecting them for about a few months. So there is like a few versions of how you can collect these. So the first one, you collect them in single issues, like I have, which for money reasons, for the future potentially, who knows. Also, you can collect them in like a graphic novel that collects the prequel comics. That's 5 issues. The movie adaptation, and that's it. However, there was a UK variant. It was in a magazine, which is one which I grew up on. I don't think many people know about this one, or even know it existed, but it's there. It's basically these magazines that collected the 4 total issues and made them into colour instead of the black and white ones which were released. That's how I collected them when I was a kid growing up. They were the first total comics I ever got into. It's really cool. Like seeing the difference and all that. They're broken up into like one issue. Like for instance, the first issue, Raphael, in the UK magazines, broken up into 3 comics or magazines, whereas this one was 1 issue. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna be breaking down and explaining these comics. So the first one we got is Raphael. There isn't really much to explain about this one, but this one really sets up the whole everything that happens or will happen in the actual comic and the movie itself. So in this issue, we see the turtles going down into sewers and taking on the Triceratons and doing this big, not really sure what they're going to do, but doing something bad. The turtles stop them, but Raphael notices that a man is being mugged, and he's like really old. And he asks if he can take them out so that he can save them, but he refuses. So Raphael ends up going up there to save him after after Triceratons would stop, just so that he wouldn't get killed. Raphael took out the muggers. The man wasn't too surprised, and yeah. So Turtles go home, and Mossminster announces that Lino is going to be going on train or on a year-long mission to become a bear leader and train. Raphael gets annoyed, so he goes out and he notices him like another mugging. He stops it. David takes him in and asks him if he would like to. He wants to teach him a bit more. And then after that, Raphael leaves to see Leo off. But sadly, after that, David gets attacked by some muggers. And when Raphael returns, he's dead. So David announces saying that he should go over to the wall, collect the armor, become the new Night Watcher. It's just when his family is to find out. And it's quite sad, really. But Raphael goes over to the mugger's house and he kills them all very brutally. And keep in mind, when I read this, I was only 3 or 4, so damn. Still, either way, he took up the mantle, and that's where it left off for Raphael issue 1, and that was it. That really sets off most things. Sadly, however, we don't really see Raphael anymore, except for a few times in another issue, Night Watcher. Okay, so the second issue, which is Michelangelo's one, things got a bit more unique and interesting, as he was already the Cowboy Cole at this point. As in issue 1, he didn't mention to Donnie about Cyanite's business. So in this one, he's at a hockey event and he tries to stop a mugger, but then he gets arrested. So Casey helps him out and lets him get out of the building by throwing off a couple of stories and still surviving. So Donnie and Mikey go after him in the carbon coal vehicle, or whatever the vehicle is called. Um, and they don't actually get up to him. But I do find out what Shen thinks he's cool, but Donnie thinks he's a vigilante and shouldn't be trusted. So Mikey goes to the birthday party that he's supposed to. He does all his stuff, and he asks Donnie to bring around the villain or the mugger to the party so that he can show off his moves to the kids. And that was it really for that issue. There was really much that happened in it. It's cool what we got to see. Um, it's just a bit disappointing after issue one, which was like really good. Had a lot of weight to it. I wish it was more like that. Um, so moving on to issue 3, which was Donatello's one. This one was a bit more disappointing, more than Michelangelo's one. However, the one good thing about this issue was that this one was drawn by Jim Lawson. If you don't know who he is, he's done a handful or loads of tmnt comic books in terms of drawing. And I don't know if it's part of the writing process, but he did drawing for this one. Um, this one we see Donatello find out that there's monsters in the city after he uses this device to see where everyone is. Sort of like Next Mutation, episode 1, where seeing all the blips or like, dots where everyone is. It does that. It's a bit weird because it says like Raphael's in like somewhere else, even though he shouldn't be, but you know, another watcher. When he finds that there's no one, so Splinter and Donatello go see what it is. It turns out that it's the mutant bat that the generals take out at first try. There isn't really much to it, but the bat takes Donatello off. So Splinter goes home to get Michelangelo to go and retrieve him. And yeah, that's really all it was. The device breaks, so that really explains what happens in the movie. But they never mention anything about this in the movie whatsoever. So I don't know why they're surprised about Bigfoot being it. So you know, um, then we get April's new one, which is I don't want to get glare in it. Which is probably the most interesting one I found to be in it. In this one, we see April having real problems with Casey in terms of their relationship. She goes over to Africa, I think it is North America, South Africa. Talks with Leonardo for a bit, but that didn't really go anywhere. But in this one, she was finding out where General Gila was. Gila, whatever his name was. The statue where she was, where she had in the first, or in the very first few minutes of the movie. And there was real dramatic stuff that she had to go through. She nearly got killed, she got kidnapped, she was going to be sacrificed. I wish I could say more about this issue, but there really isn't too much to go off of other than all that stuff I just mentioned. But she was able to get the artifacts, and that's really it. I wish I could say more for this issue. I did really enjoy it because it was the first one which I had not read. Because for some reason did not put this one into the UK magazines or the movie novel. So I'm really glad I got to finally read this one after nearly like 13 years. So I'm really proud of myself for finally reading it. But yeah, it was really disappointing. Leonardo's one I really do enjoy one the most. So this one we see him actually going on his mission, and he has to go through these 5 paths of like there's a few different ones. I can't remember what it was like community, peace, home, stuff like that. He has to go through these different trials. Where one he saved some baby whales from the hunters. One was he saved some kids from being enslaved to some other people. He stopped a bear from getting killed. Well, ones. Oh, he had to fight the ancient one, and with the tribunal. I don't know if that makes anything official with the 2003 Tale canon, but you know. And the last one was Home, where he was just gonna live in Africa and become the ghost of the jungle. This one is a really cool issue, but there is a lot of things that is a bit. It just goes at a really fast pace, which I think is a good thing. But I feel like it does give this one its own series over like I don't know a year, 2 years. and expand on each of these parts individually, I feel like you could really tell an amazing story. But because if it's limited time and page count, you don't really get to see that, but it's okay. Okay, so moving on to the biggest one, which is the movie adaptation. I won't lie, it's really disappointing. 62 pages in it, and it's okay. It tells all the dialogue is put in there. There are some scenes that are taken out. I will explain that in a few seconds. There were, I think, one or two additional scenes, but if not, some of them were just changed differently to be into the comic book form. Now the scenes that I would say that are missing were all of the action scenes. All of the action scenes were rushed. So a good example of this would be the foot battle where they fought the foot in Winter's Towers. That went on for like 2 minutes. It ended in 2 panels. What? And then with the Raphael and Leonardo fight, they did a page of him fighting his Night Watcher. I think uh, there's going to show you they show one panel of him without the Night Watcher helmet on, where doing the big Leo and Raph battle, and then the next one with him with Side Leo's head. So that's my complaint about this issue, was that all the action was completely lost, and it just felt like it was going at a very fast pace, and that's my real complaint about this issue. I know it's supposed to be explaining one, but it's all like a little review. But it's basically the movie, just worse. um, the final one which I want to explain is this one, which you might have seen a few days ago or about a week ago, whenever this video has been uploaded. About this like preview page of what was going to be in the whole movie. I thought when I bought it was going to be a comic book that explained a lot of stuff. Turns out no, there's barely anything in it, and it just goes over some art styles that are going to use some storyboards, use character designs, stuff like that. There wasn't really too much in it. Really disappointed in it, but then again, it's just a preview, so I can't really expect too much. But yeah, that's gonna be for the explaining stuff. I'd be interested to see what your opinion is on these comics. I know that this one's a bit harder to find and read, but if you do have the opportunity to get them, I recommend getting them, as they are, like a very good fun story to read. Whatever format you do get them, just read them. It's worth your time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you do love them, please share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.